Okay, so we're going to get started. My name is Juan Pablo Gonzalez. I'm a medical librarian for the Lewis Stokes Health Sciences Library. We're going to talk about RefWorks today. So RefWorks is an electronic resource designed to provide you with a seamless experience in organizing and managing scholarly citations, as well as citations from other forms of media. So RefWorks is absolutely essential for those of us who manage a large volume of information and data for the undertaking of our jobs. Before we begin discussing RefWorks, I'm going to cover a few basic measures that are critical to accessing all of our digital subscription services. To access RefWorks or any of the library's other electronic resources or databases, you must start on the library's homepage at www.hsl.howard.edu. Entering databases to the library's website is the process that will allow you to access subscription services. If you enter electronic databases through their own home pages, you will not be granted access to any of the subscription content or the full text of articles. To access our databases and electronic resources, head to the center of the home page to the search bar, and you're going to click A to Z Databases. You're going to select R for RefWorks, and then you're going to select RefWorks. So if you're opening RefWorks for the first time, you're going to need to create an account. This is an easy process. It's similar to creating an online account for anything that we do online. Once you create an account and you log in, you will be on this page that you see here. It will contain a listing of all the citations that you have not saved into specific folders. If you do not have any unassigned citations or your account is new, this area will appear blank. So I actually went in and cleared my account out. I had tons of stuff in here, so it's blank just so you can see what it looks like when you first go in. So here's some helpful guidance that I want to talk about in terms of how the citations are organized and managed. The drop-down button at the top left-hand side of the page here will indicate what project folder you're in. There is one project folder that will always serve as a default space for any citations that you have not assigned to a folder. Project folders can be thought of as master folders. You can title the default folder anything you want to. The system will indicate which folder is the default folder. Mine is titled Unassigned Literature because sometimes I'm quickly uploading citations and I want to go back in later and assign them to more specific folders. So that folder just serves as a location where I can just quickly put the citations. So the first thing I want to cover is how RefWorks is integrated with the library's catalog. So we're going to go back to the home page. Go back down to the center. I'm going to put in a sample inquiry. Just as a note, the library's catalog does not process natural language inquiries, so all compound inquiries must be in a Boolean form. What this means is that while you may be able to retrieve results if you type something like "what is pharmacodynamics," the library's catalog is searching the metadata that is found in the item records and not the full text of any of the resources. Each of these link boxes that has appeared in the results represents an item record. Once it's expanded, when you click it, this is what the system is searching. So as you can see here, when we put in a natural language inquiry, it's simply looking for the occurrence of the word pharmacodynamics, and it's indicated by it being underlined here. So if you enter it this way, this is not retrieving results that are reliable. These results are arbitrary and they're unfocused. In the long run, it's going to be very time consuming if you do anything concerning natural language. So we're going to head back to the home page and we're going to use a sample inquiry. I'm going to type in Ritalin and psychopharmacology. I'm going to immediately head to the left-hand side of the page to the filter section so I can limit the information. In the content type section, I'm going to select articles. I'm then going to the subject section, which will detail the intellectual range of my inquiry. Most inquiries, even when they're specifically phrased, will retrieve literatures that are only tangentially related to your inquiry. This is because an article could be tagged with certain keywords based on the mention of the subject within the article's metadata and not its full text. So I'm going to see if there's a more specific intellectual angle with the results that I would like to focus on. I'm going to scroll down to psychopharmacology because I want a broad set of results from this category, and I'm not sure the demographic or the biomedical qualities that I'm interested in at this point in the search. So we're just going to scroll down and psychopharmacology. Lastly, I'm going to go down to the chronological section and limit the results to between 2019 and 2021, and then I'm going to hit apply. So if you notice, the Boolean search has retrieved a manageable 360 results. This can be seen here. It's very small, but this will tell you how many results. When we did a search with natural language, there were over 100,000 results because it's unfocused. Now we have 360 using the specificity of the Boolean search. So let's say I like this first article. When I click the article link, we're going to be taken to the item record that we saw earlier. In this item record, there's a section called Send To. Well, once that pops up, we'll have the item record. We're just going to wait on that. Okay, there we go. You got to love our systems here at HU. So in the Send To section, this is what you're going to be looking for when we get to the item record. There's a button here that says RW. Once I click this button, since I logged into RefWorks earlier, I'm going to be automatically taken to RefWorks. So the system is asking me now if I want to import this citation, and my answer is yes. Right now, I have not done any subfolders. If I did, there would be a drop-down box here. It would be asking me where did I want that folder to go. That citation to go, excuse me. But for now, I want the citation to go into my default folder, which is unassigned literature, until I decide what to do with it. So I'm just going to hit import. So let's say I want to do something with the citation. I want to move it out of my default folder, and I want to move it into a folder called pharmacy. I'm going to highlight this. We're going to click assign to folder. We're going to hit create, and I'm just going to call it pharmacy. In your top left-hand corner, you're going to see pharmacy in bold. This is indicating that we're now inside of the folder that we've created called pharmacy, and we're no longer inside of the default folder. So now I want to take a look at an externally indexed resource. We're going to move away from the library's catalog and into a database. We're going to go into PubMed and to take a look at the integration between PubMed and RefWorks. And same thing with PubMed. To access PubMed, we're going to go back to the library's homepage. We're not going to go directly to PubMed because if you do, you're not going to be able to access any full text or any other information that's subscription-based. So I'm just going to go back down here to the search bar on the home page. You've got a tab already there for PubMed. We just click it and we're on our way. So the process of exporting a citation from PubMed and importing it into RefWorks involves a few steps, but it's very easy. So we're going to use my previous example of Ritalin and psychopharmacology as the inquiry. So if you notice, I just deleted the Boolean operator. I'm going to tell you why I've done that. This time around, we're not going to use a complex Boolean construction because PubMed allows for you to simply search by juxtaposing words. PubMed uses a sophisticated algorithm that will extract meaning from what has been typed. The PubMed algorithm is more intuitive than a general Boolean search, but it does not function like Google, so you still cannot enter a natural language search. All right, so here are my results. I want the most authoritative literature, so I'm going to head over to the left-hand side of the page, and I'm going to click Systematic Review. It's already defaulted because I've been using PubMed all day, and I'm typically looking at systematic reviews first. But if you have not been in PubMed for today, you're going to select Systematic Review. So I'm going to scroll down, and let's say I want this first one. I like this first one. This one is a review of 80 antidepressants and 78 adverse effects that were discovered. So if you're working on a project that requires transparency in your search methodology, just simply listing Ritalin and psychopharmacology in the way that you see here in the search bar that we've done is not going to cut it, and you know that. So this is what we can do to reveal what the algorithm has done. The algorithm is referred to as automatic term mapping. To reveal it, you're going to click Advanced right below the search. We're going to scroll down to the History section, and we're going to select the inquiry, which is right here. Here you can see what the computer has done. And as you can see here, the computer is actually still using Boolean operators, and that it has mapped the term Ritalin to its chemical name and to the various formations of the word. It also has searched all fields, meaning it searched the titles, it searched the author name, the dates, any of those fields. Psychopharmacology is a mesh term, and you can see it here, but it has not defined what did it do. There's another way you can go in when you need to document your search methodology to find out what is that, since it's a mesh term. So I'm going to put a link in the chat for this that you can save it to your computer. Give me just one moment. Okay, so this is a link to the all mesh categories dictionary. What we're going to do is head over to that dictionary just really quickly. And then we're going to type in psychopharmacology. So what the computer has done when you see a mesh term, especially in this specific example, you see pharmacology, is searching all of this information here, searching across adverse effects, classifications, methods. You see everything there. So that's where you can find out if you're documenting your search methodology and you see a mesh term and it's not explained. So we're going to head back. So back on the page, that's the item record in PubMed. You're going to see this section here that says Cite. There's a small tab on the side. We're going to click that. This is going to generate this dialog box. This box will contain the text of the citation, but there's also 3 buttons at the bottom. The first one is to copy the citation to your clipboard. You can paste it wherever you want. The middle button is to download the citation as a text file. And the last button is to choose the citation format. It's just defaulted to APA because I use that for my political science classes, and it's used for a lot of social and medical as well documentation. So we're going to click the middle button to download the citation as a text file. This file is in a special format that can be read by citation management programs like RefWorks. Once you click it, the file just simply downloads. So we're going to go back to RefWorks, and we're going to select the button to import the citation. So we're going to click Add, Import References. From this point, it takes you to this page here. You can either scan your computer for the file or you can drop the file there. I recommend just dropping the file there because the files are typically saved with their PubMed ID numbers. And once you go into your computer to try to locate that, it's problematic. It takes forever. So if you go down to the bottom of your page here, it typically just has a space where it's been downloaded. You can click this button and go show in the folder. Once you see it in the folder, pull it out, drag it over. It's going to ask you to verify that information. You just click import. So now it's asking me, where do I want this to go? I want it to go in my pharmacy folder that I created earlier. And there it is. So as you can see, for PubMed, there's just a few more steps in the process, but it's very straightforward, and it's nowhere near as tedious as manually entering a citation. So now I'm going to show you how Microsoft Word is integrated with RefWorks. Before I do that, if you've never integrated your RefWorks with your Microsoft Word, you need to follow this process here. We're going to go on to the menu bar and select Tools. You're then going to select Tools. So if you're doing this from your home computer, this is going to download an executable file, and you should have no problem simply executing it and adding it as a plugin to Microsoft Word. If you're doing this on the university computer, I'm here at work and I had to undertake this process, you're going to have to contact ETS to have them download this to your computer, and this is due to the security blocks against downloads. So I'm not going to go through the whole process, but it's the same thing that you would do to download anything. It's called Write in Sight. On the tools page, you'll only see these two things. You're going to come down to this one, click download and install. You see the executable file down here on the left. I already have it on my computer, so I don't need to click it or anything. But even though this file will download on your work computer, you're still going to have to call ETS, because when it's time to actually execute the file, it will block it. So once you've done all of that process on the RefWorks side, you go to Microsoft Word. What's going to happen is that you're now going to have a new tab at the top of your ribbon. You're going to see a tab called RCM. You click this tab. There's only one option in there. It's called RefWorks Citation Manager. You click this. And what it will do is bring up a scaled down version of the RefWorks window into Microsoft Word. So at this point, this is what I typically do when I'm writing papers. I turn on the bibliography function. It will default to the end of your written work. If you add references to RefWorks folders that you're drawing from for the paper, they're going to automatically be added to the bibliography. So we just go here to the menu. The bibliography is on, actually. I need to do it again because I deleted it earlier. I was working in this. Actually, let me clear this whole one out. I'm going to start a fresh one. All right, so RCM, RefWorks. I'm back in the menu and I'm going to turn that bibliography on. So this is going to appear blank until you actually cite something in your paper. So let's say, for example, I've been typing my paper. I've reached a point where I'm ready to enter the citation. What you're going to do from here is click the citation that you're looking to import, insert the citation, and there it is. It now appears as a citation, an in-text citation, and then it also appears below as your bibliography. And you can just reformat that and push it down to whatever page you need to, but it will occur immediately after whatever you've entered. So there's another function that's also very helpful as well. This bibliography will become updated and refreshed once you enter new information. So you don't have to go back and forth and enter information here and then enter it in RefWorks. So we're just going to take a look at that process. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to select a new article, just a random one for our purposes here. I'm going to undertake that process again of sending this to RefWorks by clicking RW. I want this to go into my pharmacy folder again. Okay, so now that it has been imported on this side, I'm going to go back to Microsoft Word. Once you've entered any number of new references, you're just going to come back over here to this pane. There's a refresh button right here in the bottom corner. You hit refresh, and there's the new citation that I've just entered. And keep in mind again that none of the citations are going to appear below unless you actually cite them. So that's very helpful. You don't have to go in and delete anything. It's just what you use. We're going to go back to RefWorks now. So you can also create a bibliography that you can copy and paste to wherever it's needed. You can select it and then create it, or just simply paste it somewhere else. You come here to this quotation symbol, create bibliography, then select create bibliography. It will ask you what format that you want it in. I just want it to remain in APA. It provides it here. You can click copy, and then you can paste it wherever you'd like to paste it. So the last thing I'd like to show you is the tags function. So we're going to go back to the home page of RefWorks. In the menu on the left-hand side, you're going to click the drop-down button for tags. This is a list of valuable keyword data that has been extracted by the RefWorks system, and it's pertaining to all of the literature that you've imported. The information is shown on a per folder basis, so it's not a collective of all the folders that you created, just the one that you're currently in. This is definitely useful for when you need to search for a specific article or a specific concept among the literatures that you've saved. It's really useful when you're just collecting literatures, but you've not focused your inquiry as well. You can browse these keywords and narrow your topic. You can use the keywords to construct new searches or to provide transparency in your search methodology.